So, there's a reason to celebrate. What is it? Today I'm officially 6 months on HRT, so what has changed, except the fact that I'm way happier than I've ever been before. So I'm going to split this up into 3 parts. First, the physical changes, then the emotional changes, and at the end I'll talk a bit about the sexual changes, but I won't get too deep into that because YouTube won't let me. So let's start with the physical changes I've been through. Before I can get deeper into any of the changes, just a small fact that has made me so happy. When I was at my doctor to get my blood results read, that was about 2 months ago, he had some really great news for me. So he showed me my estrogen count, and at that point it was at 600, and he has told me that it was the highest count he has ever seen, not only amongst his trans patients but also amongst the cis patients. So my count is at 600, or was at 600 at this time. Like I said, it was 2 months ago. I don't know how it changed. My next appointment is in August, but the normal amount apparently is between 50 to 350 depending on what stage you are in your cycle. But let's stop with all the sciencey stuff and get onto the more obvious changes. So the first thing is something I'm not entirely sure how much it is because of my transitioning and how much is just because of my lifestyle. So I've gained a lot of weight over the past couple of months. Before I started transitioning, I was around 60 kilograms and now I'm about 75, so 50 kilograms extra. And like I said, I can't really tell how much of it is because of estrogen and how much is because of my living style, but I haven't changed much since before, so it shouldn't have gone up that drastically. In fact, I even started doing sports, so it should get lower instead. So I think it's more about the estrogen. Which leads me to the next part. My thighs have gotten so thick and squishy. I feel like the upper half is about twice as thick as it was before, but in a good way, and not also bad, because obviously on my upper body there are some changes too that are a bit more visible, and those are boobs. Yes, I finally got them. They're not that big yet. They're still growing. Just give them time. But depending on what measurement table I use, it's somewhere around an A to B cup, and they are at the point that I just barely am able to hide them if I'm wearing a baggy shirt. But as soon as I start wearing something that is tighter, yeah, you're seeing everything. And not only have they grown, but they became way more sensitive. Not as much as in the beginning. The first couple of weeks and months when they started growing, you just had to slightly touch them and I would have been in pain. Now they are a bit sturdier. I don't feel pain that easily anymore, but they are still extremely sensitive. Moving further up my body, let's get to my hair. That is something that I greatly appreciate that it changed, because one of my biggest dysphoria points is my hair loss that I inherited from my father, and it has gone significantly. Not even gone down, it has stopped completely, and most of the hair that I've lost so far has regrown, and I'm so happy about it. Like, before I transitioned, I had this really big bald space on my head, and I was so dysphoric about it. I still am. Every time I see pictures from before that are taken from an angle behind me, I always just want to vanish in that moment because I can't bear looking at them. But now it's, like I said, almost completely gone and regrown, and I'm so happy about it. I hope that in a couple of months it's back at the point where it was 3 years ago before my hair loss has ever started. And not only has it started to grow back, but it's also way healthier also on this point. I'm not sure if it is because of the HRT or because I use more and higher quality products, but most of them I already used before because I had long hair for a couple of years now. And also, like 5 years ago, I also had a long hair phase. So that isn't my first time. So I guess it's also mostly because of the HRT. And yeah, like I said, they are healthier and stronger than ever before. Also very soft. They aren't growing as fast anymore. Before I had to go to the hairdresser like every 2 months at least to get my tips cut. But now I can just wait half a year and yeah, not much has changed in the time. Staying in the top part of my body, my face has gotten way smoother and softer, to the point where I've been asked by several people that have known me before transitioning if I've gotten a facelifting. And every time I get asked that, I'm like, huh? Did it change that much? Like, yes, I noticed that it's changed, but that drastically? Apparently it has. It's just generally way smoother and rounder. I've lost a lot of contour and my jaw isn't as defined as it was before. And my skin, it's so soft. Not only on my face, but everywhere. Like, everywhere I touch myself, it's just so damn soft and I love it. It's like one of the greatest feelings, just touching your arm and realizing how soft your skin has gotten. Another thing that my mother was really jealous about when she heard about it and noticed it is that I've gotten way less wrinkles than I've got before. So I'm starting to look a bit younger again, even though I'm just 23. But let's move on from the physical changes and move over to the emotional changes. So generally, I feel way more emotions than before, and everything's just a bit heightened and more sensitive. Like, I laugh more easily. I also cry more and more easily. Not as much as I've heard from others and been warned. Like, my doctor said to me before I started transitioning that I have to expect just randomly starting to cry a lot, quite often, and that hasn't happened, but I definitely tear up more easily. And that is also something that goes hand in hand with dysphoria. Generally, dysphoria has gotten way better because I notice so many changes day by day that there are more euphoria moments than dysphoria. But when the dysphoria hits, it's hitting way harder than it did before, just because I'm that much more emotional now. Another thing that it definitely changed is I have become the EP princess. Can't say it otherwise, I have become EP princess. Before, I was so sleep deprived. If I was lucky, I got 5 to 6 hours of sleep a day. And now it's more like 10 to 12 if I'm not careful. Sometimes I just sleep through the whole day. And I know that this is absolutely not healthy. And I feel so terrible afterwards. But sometimes I'm just so damn tired. And I can do nothing against it. Except my crippling caffeine addiction, which isn't healthy either. Speaking about healthy, the next change is to my eating habits. I have started what I call the Kirby diet, which means I ingest everything that I can find, no matter the amount. So this may not sound like that big of a deal to most people, but I didn't eat much before. Before starting transitioning, I had 1 meal per day at max. Some days I didn't eat at all. And when I ate, it wasn't much either. So that explains why my weight was so low. Like, I think 2 years ago, I only weighed 50 kilograms, which is way too light for the size that I have. And I'm happy that I've gotten weight because of that. But the amount of food that I'm consuming now is so much more. I eat 3 to 4 meals a day and also some snacks in between, and this is just something that I've not been used to. And it wasn't because I didn't have the money to buy food or something like that. It was just that I wasn't hungry, or sometimes I was hungry, but I just didn't have an appetite to eat. So I just didn't eat at all. And that definitely has changed a lot. Now let's move over to the shortest part, the sexual part. So I can't go into depth here because YouTube won't let me, but I can keep it vague. So first off is a decreased as well as an increased libido, depending on the situation. Like generally, my sex drive is completely gone when I'm alone. There's just nothing going on at all. But the moment I visit my girlfriend or she comes over, we spend time together, it's a complete opposite. It just goes completely haywire. And yeah, personally, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I'm actually pretty happy about how it is right now. But there were also some harder times before where you wanted to initiate things, but the body just couldn't, because the hormones and the hormone blockers just were too strong, and just nothing was working at the moment. But that has also gotten better. Like now, if I want to get it on, it's absolutely possible, no problem anymore. So that just took a while for my body to get used to how the new hormones are. But now that most things have settled in, it's just like before, so everything is fine. But what I have noticed is that the feeling I get when climaxing is that it's completely different from before. So before it was more like a short burst of feeling good, and that's it. Afterward, I was done, nothing more. But now it's prolonged and way more intense and feels way more better and completely different from before. And the kinds of feelings I had before are gone, and I don't get them anymore, and instead I feel completely different things, which is something that is really hard to describe, and I can only say that it's something you have to experience yourself to fully get it. And even then, it may differ from my experience, so this is just something that I have noticed. And also my focus on the whole topic has changed a lot, because now I don't get the pleasure from the feeling itself. I mean, I do too, but that isn't the main thing anymore. It's way more about just the emotional connection and the relationship and the act of being together and intimate. That is the focus for me. And that is where I get my pleasure doing the act from. So these were the things that I've noticed over the past couple of months that have changed. Maybe I've forgotten some things because they've just become so normal for me that I don't think of them as changed anymore, or just can't remember how it was before. But I think I've managed to single out the most important things. And I definitely will be updating you all a couple of months later when things might have changed, maybe not. I have to see for that. But I think I also have hit the point where the changes aren't going to be that consistent and that much anymore, because most of the effects have already taken in, and now it's just like over the next 3, 6, 9, whatever months that these effects are going to continue. Some of them stronger, some of them less. Like boob growth, I hope that it grows a bit more. Doesn't have to be much, just a little bit more. Would be nice, but I have to see about that. So I hope this was an interesting topic for you. It was also a bit intimate for me, so I hope that that was fun. And besides that, maybe it was helpful for some of you, just to get to know what's about to happen if you're pre-transition or just at the beginning. So I hope you had fun with this video, and see you next time. Until then, bye.